What's going on, boys? Welcome back to another minimal devlog, number 3. Number 4. We're getting started on the next project, Game B. Before I do that, though, let's just go over a little bit of these lovely comments on itch. Overall, for the most part, pretty positive, but there were a few issues, like, you know, the fact that the game just doesn't start on a lot of people's machines. That's okay, though. It's not really okay. There's actually no way of me fixing that until Ryan gets the logging system up and running, so we can actually kind of see what's happening with the crashes. But for now, if you can't run it, that sucks, but it's not really that big of an issue. I mean, it really is a massive issue, but there's nothing I can do about it. If you can't run it, tough luck, I guess. So I've actually been doing a little bit of thinking over the last week on what I want this next one to be. And I've got it all mapped out right here. You don't have to read any of that. And before I get started, I'm going to need to take the entirety of Don't Cold and just strip it down and just dismantle the entire thing and shelve the project. I'm gonna go do that now. I'll see you right now because I just finished it. We are looking good now, baby. Side note, it feels so goddamn good to be back and working again. Holy shit, this last week has been, I fucking hate editing. I hate editing, but I also love editing. It's a very weird relationship that we have. But man, just fucking sitting down again with a coffee, got my headphones on. Oh, time to start live streaming again. I haven't live streamed all week because I've been editing. All right. Boop. Look at this. It's like a live POV weird thing of me like literally hitting this button. Ain't that crazy? I have pulled everything out. It is no longer Don't Cold. It is now just the Forge, and we've got a nice clean blank slate. Nice big restructuring, ready to go. Time to move on to this next project, baby. Let's do it. Now that everything is clean, it is time to unveil Game B, the next project in the saga. What will it be? Well, ladies and gents, we are going to be working on making a line renderer. It's going to be the most boring fucking project in this world, but it is going to be fun at the same time because I love boring fun stuff. We're literally just going to make a line renderer. That's it. I am genuinely very excited for it. Boys, I've got some exciting stuff right here. I have made this. Look at this. Oh, wow. We have Trello, but not Trello. It's a Kanban within Obsidian using the Kanban Obsidian plugin. And to top it off, we've also got a mood board. Look at this. Excalibur, baby. Woo! Oh, I love this so much. And it's all just in the one spot. It's all just right here. Notes are right here. Bang out some notes. Absolutely goddamn beautiful. Man, let's get started on this next project, eh? This is, I sounded so Canadian saying that. This is my favorite part of a project. It's just the blank page. You're sitting down and it's fresh. Endless possibility. It can also be very daunting if you kind of have no idea what to do, but I have already gone through and mapped out what this project is going to be. These were the keywords that I was doing when I was brainstorming. Let's just copy this over. Is this going to like, just let me, oh my God, that is so fucking cool, dude. That is so cool. Oh yeah. So pretty much, the entire game is going to take place inside this one little box, the screen rectangle, right? And there's going to be no camera, but it's going to be a side scroller. And there's going to be a little dude here, except he's not actually going to be a dude. He's literally going to be, wait for it, a box as well. And we're just going to do a bunch of cool like line rendering stuff. And that's about it, really. And then we're going to call it a game and call it a day. All right, so my main focus is going to be figuring out how to write shaders within Telescope or just write rendering code within Telescope, right? And just get a good workflow for that set up so I can write shaders in future. So that's pretty much the target of the project. It's still going to be a shipped project, and I'd really like to focus on getting like a menu screen and settings in because I was really lacking in the last game. And just really just pour all of my energy into like polishing it up into a nice little experience, right? Even if there isn't actually going to be a game loop in there and some fun kind of thing. Yeah. So that's going to be the focus for this project. I feel like if I flip flop between making an actual game that has a good game loop and a good mechanic and it's fun, right? If I flip flop between that and tech, what I'm doing right here, just focusing on trying to increase my my skills, honing my technical prowess, if you will. If I do that, then it's going to be a whole lot better than if I were to just do all games or all tech, right? If I flip flop between the two, then I'm going to get so much further in this whole game dev journey. So yeah, let's get cracking on this bad boy. To start off with, I'm just going to flesh out this mood board, like, and then we're going to do a cool edit, and it's just going to cut to me this. Oh yeah, game B, beauty. Line rendering beauty. So the core focus is just gonna be make some beautiful geometric pixel art lines, right? Like this, but probably more pixel arty. I feel like pixel art would be fun. Would be a nice little constraint to do. So a key example is this from this YouTube video over here. This right here. I want this in the game. I want a spinning pixel art cube that's a line renderer. It's gonna be in, right? And then maybe we could even bring X Nihilo in. Properly do out the fire sim and have it be on fire. Now that would be toy. Also, here's a nice example. Another bee. We just have a bunch of bees, right? This is how I come up with the whole bee thing. By the way, like the game A, game B. Those letters represent the theme, and then I brainstorm ideas within the theme. So that's how I got box, boredom, borders, beauty, barriers, breakthrough, breathing. So the game's just going to be in one big box, and we're going to have some gameplay down here, right? Gameplay. And you're going to play as a box, and you're just going to run around this big box that's the screen. And you're going to be able to wall jump and stuff. Basically, Sloppy, which is a game that I made with my boy Timothy back in the day, just like at the start of the year. It was a game that we did in Unity together in like a few days. It was actually pretty fun. It's pretty much just going to be stuff that I practiced in that. It's going to have a really nice feel and play controller with we'll probably bring in Box 2D, right? Just to this is like such a perfect theme. And yeah, so that's going to be the gameplay, right? But I'm mainly just going to be focusing on the line rendering, the tech aspect of things. Getting that stuff up and running. That's going to be really cool. Breathing down here. So I would really like to do particle simulation. That's probably where Ex Nihilo is going to come into play as well with the pixel simulation. But I'll do like particles this time, not pixels. So there's a fine line between the two, but we will explore that line in this project, hopefully. And this is a good example. If you can see the GIF down there. So it's this nice big obelisk thing that's breathing. It's from Noita, and that seems really goddamn cool as well. So we'll just explore a bunch of those, and that's going to be game B. Don't know what it's going to be called, but maybe we'll just call Box. Yes, my favorite game in the world, Box. That's pretty much it. Side note, this fucking workflow with Excalibur, the Excalibur plugin in Obsidian is just goddamn amazing, dude. Like, oh my god. It just feels so good to be having the notes right next to the mood board, and then what we're about to do, the actual actionability side of things. This is where all the tasks and stuff are going to live. So it's just like, oh my god, bro. I love this so much. God bless Obsidian plugin developers. I swear. Let's get some actionability sorted, shall we? Alrighty, actionability is done. The core is very much going to be 50-50 this time around. We are going to get around to this polish, and it's going to be beautiful. But the core is very simple. It's literally just figure out how to write D3D11 code, how to play nicely with telescope, line rendering, and yeah, that's about it. So I'm going to get stuck into some D3D11. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. I just got it working first try, bro. That's crazy. Oh my god. Alright, boys. D3D11 done and dusted. Goddamn. And look at that. It's working with the existing. It's just overlaying on top. That is crazy. Holy shit, we did it. Oh my god. Oh, that's so cool. Holy shit. Hello world, baby. Shout out to my boy Martins. Goddamn. Beautiful example in here. Just using the C style API of D3D11. It's actually pretty clean and works nicely. Anyway, well, that was pretty easy. Only took me a day. Figure out how to write D3D11 code nicely within the Forge. Oh yeah, baby. I can't believe that worked first try. That is insane. All I really had to do to get that working just then was, literally just piggyback off of what Ryan's already doing with the all the setup work that he's got going. And I just put my own layer on top of it, really. So I made my own vertex buffer, my own layout shader, vertex shader, pixel shader, constant buffer. So this gets run once, and we're just loading up all the vertex data, compiling the shaders and stuff, the constants buffer, and then every single frame, we're doing all the steps for rendering. So it's literally just a layer on top of what Telescope already has, and I'm making use of all of Ryan's lovely little hard setup work that he did. So that's awesome. That's a really nice way of me just writing D3D11 stuff. Alrighty, so I've been doing a little bit of reading up on the line rendering literature. So I ain't diving down a big old rabbit hole of how to draw lines. You got this over here, nice and cool. You can extend that to make it look a lot more nice by using miter joined lines. Pretty cool. You can even take that a step further and do something like this, like fucking Jesus, that is crazy. Looks really beautiful though. I could look at this all day. So I dove through all of that on stream, right? And I was really convinced. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go implement this. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna figure out how to be an absolute line wizard and just do all this stuff. But then I stopped stream and I just chilled out for a few hours. I was in the shower just sewing. I was like, aren't I doing pixel art? All I need, draw a line, A to B, no anti-aliasing, no joins, no fancy schmancy stuff. Just good old simple and honest pixel art. I can still be a line wizard in pixel art, and we can still do a bunch of lighting and cool shader stuff. If I'm working within the constraints of pixel art, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do that than figure out how to make everything high definition and look good, right? Because making this look good is a lot of math and a lot of effort. So I'm thinking for the foreseeable future, I'm just boxing myself into the constraints of pixel art, and I'm okay with that because pixel art's pretty cool. This right here is a classic example of why taking a break is good. Now, I could have just kept working through that entire last 4 hours, right? In my mind, I would have been like, yeah, I'm working, I'm getting stuff done, I'm doing these cool anti-aliasing lines and all this stuff. In reality, I'm just heading in the wrong direction. So taking time off, taking a breather, step back, I'm kind of starting to see why rest time is a good thing. There isn't a more comfortable feeling in the world than sitting down at your desk at the start of the workday, booting up stream, and putting a pot of coffee on. Nothing beats it, eh? Nothing beats it. Alright, day 3, baby. Let's get to work. We have line rendering. That is goddamn amazing. That was so easy. That was so simple. Literally, this is the shader, right? This is the entire shader. So each vertex has a position 1, position 2, right? And we're uploading this. And then in the input, we're just taking the position, right? This is the input. We just pass that position down into the pixel shader, or fragment shader for you OpenGL folks. And we just return white. And then that's just going to give us this. And we'll call it a day. Done and dusted. Whoop. So next up, I'm moving on to the pixel art shader. Basically trying to figure out a pixel kind of scale standard. Because in the last game, Don't Cold, this was an issue I had where, I was kind of doing map design based around the standard 1920 by 1080 resolution. So you just got 1080p, and that's how I would do the map design. For example, I would have a little fuel cell over here, which was just on the screen. So you kind of need to know your bounds in order to do stuff like that. Now that I've got my measure of how pixelated the pixel art game is going to be, right, which is something like 30. So you'd take your base kind of 1920 and you'd divide it by 30 and you'd have 64 pixels across the entire screen. I don't know what resolution that would look like. It'd probably be pretty fat. All right, so let's pretend that the game is now 192 pixels across and 108 down. Now it's a question of, in the game, what resolution do we actually render the final thing at? For example, would we want the player to be moving floating point, nice and smooth like that, or locked to the pixel grid? So yesterday, an absolute legend by the name of Ben sent me a free copy of Noita, and Ben, thank you very much, good sir. So now I'm a proud owner of Noita, and I'm going to figure out what they did. I think they I don't think they went down the everything locked to the pixel grid path. I think the majority of it is locked, especially like the simulation and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think the player, if I'm not mistaken, is probably floating point. All right, it's Noita time, boys. I can't believe I haven't played this game yet. Despite me doing so much pixel simulation in the past, and like looking at all their talks and like how the tech works and everything, I've still yet to touch this game. So this is gonna be fun. So already, those background clouds, or at least the parallax is definitely not snapped to the grid, which makes sense. We kind of want the parallax to be smooth, right? And the player is not snapped to the grid either. So that makes sense. And you also have a wand, right? Which is obviously not snapped to the grid either. Like that's very much not gritty. Stone walls. This is literally all I do while playing games, by the way, is like every time I see something interesting, I just stop and fucking like note it. Oh, F kicks something. Okay, cool. So that's very clearly snapped to the grid because you can see it. It looks pretty janky when it's moving. Like same with that bomb. God damn, that is hype. That is so cool. The UI is really nice as well. You like? To me, that fire definitely looks snapped to the grid. This cape looks so smooth though. Wow. That's so well done. Oh. Alright, so the particles coming off this fire are some very clearly non-grid pixels just flying out sideways, diagonally, which is interesting. Ooh, I like that. So it's very much half and half, right? It's locked to the grid when it needs to be like physically simulated and all that kind of stuff and part of the pixel sim. Like for example, that right there. Like that's physically in the world. But when responsiveness matters, like that, there's so much in there that's not locked to the grid. Interesting. All right. So in essence, it's like the play movement isn't locked, like the wand moving, because you need precision with that. There's a lot of particle effects in there. So at the lowest level, I don't want to be actually changing the resolution to be 129 by 108 because we do actually want some little pixels that can be like that. And it's like a floating kind of particle that's nice and smooth. Or it's actually the player, right? The player can be like in between the pixels. So I don't want to be changing the resolution. But at the same time, I kind of do. Like we need two layers. One layer that renders at that resolution so we can get all of like the lines and stuff, and then we just scale it up and then shift across, which is literally what I'm talking about now is literally just what old mate was talking about in the next gen pixel art thing, right? How the technique he used. So this is what I'm trying to achieve, right? And to do this, I need the rendering to be done very small resolution because this is locked to the grid. But you don't want everything to be locked to the grid because you want to be able to do stuff like parallax and the player movement. You still want a smooth camera, the parallax, all that kind of stuff. But at the lowest level, we still want to be doing pixel art. So I'm thinking I'll figure something out. Look at that, baby! We did it, boys! All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. Man, it feels so good. This is absolutely amazing. Okay, so what I've done, we've got a line renderer. And now this line renderer is being done at 30 pixel width. So 1920 divided by 30, that gives us the resolution, right? That is the line shader. And it's just right here. That line rendering is being rendered into a texture. After that, we then have the screen renderer. And the screen renderer is pretty much just some triangles, a quad covering the entire screen. So we're drawing that entire quad and we are sampling into the texture, which is the pixel art line shader thing. It's as simple as that. I mean, it's not entirely simple, but now there's a few things that I need to fix up. Side note, I'm learning how to use RenderDoc. Oh my God, this is amazing. What the fuck? You can look at the whole pipeline. This is us. This is our data. This is our whole thing that we just did. This is the triangle strip. Ooh. Oh my God. Holy shit. This is going to be so useful. Wow. You can see all the things happening. What? Goddamn. I don't know what any of this means, but I like it. What's the time? Why would you look at that? What Up There starts in 1 hour and 41 minutes. Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing What Up There. What we're gonna do is take this entire game B and just stuff it into 72 hours in a game jam and get the entire thing done over the next 3 days. And I think that's gonna be hype. Ladies and gents, What Up There 51 has officially started as of 1 hour ago. So we're gonna get cracking on this bad boy. The theme is every 10 seconds. That's a dog shit theme, bro. Every 10 seconds? All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all these themes and I'm just going to do them all. One by one, I'm going to go through and brainstorm out ideas. And then at the end, we will come together as a council and decide which is the best one. So that's all my job is for tonight. It's like 8:30 p.m. So I'm head off to bed soon. I'm just going to brainstorm, then sleep on it, then wake up and then get started. But got here with me. Nice cheap beer. Last night I was out here burning the midnight oil. I was trying to sleep, so I was like, okay, how about I just read an article or something? And I reread this really good article by John Carmack on functional programming. And I just got so goddamn excited that I hopped out of bed and just programmed for like 2 hours. And went to bed at like 2:30.
I really need to stop waking up so late. It's like midday. In order to do that, I need to go to bed earlier though.
But I managed to make a first pass on the line rendering API. So we've got this function over here and it literally just pushes a line, right? And it takes in a memory arena and a list of strings and then point 1, point 2, and it's pretty goddamn beautiful. Would highly recommend looking into memory arenas. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested in that. Ryan's got an excellent article and there's just a few other things in there as well. This bad boy right here is the whole reason that I can use C and not worry about memory management whatsoever. Seriously, if you're still caught up on the whole like new delete object oriented thing, go look at those articles. I'll link them down in the description. They are fucking insane. And this is just a list of strings, which it's a little hard to describe. It's not entirely clear. You think like string, oh, that's like a string of characters, right? But what I'm doing is, so this string 8, right, literally just stores a pointer and a size. So it's essentially just a buffer of memory, right? So I'm treating it like a buffer of memory here and just putting some data into that bad boy. I'm pushing some memory, right, onto an arena, and it is 2 vertices, right? So then we go 1, 2, right? Which is point 1 and point 2, point 0, point 1. Don't worry about this. This is just this is just magic wizardry for casting these vec3s down into a vertex. Ignore that. Pretend they're just being assigned normally. And then what I do is I take that, right? And that is the pointer to the start of the string. Like I said, not the most clear and readable. Probably try and think of a better way of doing this, but it's insanely amazing because then we can just push this onto a list of strings, and a list of strings is exactly how it sounds. It's just a list of a bunch of different strings, right? And then down in here, we take that list of lines, excuse the very dirty screen, and we join them all together into one string, one big buffer, and we take that line data and then we just upload it to the GPU, to the vertex buffer. We hit the compile button first, and then we hit the run button, and look at that. So first pass on how the line drawing API is gonna work, I don't know. Seems pretty decent. Like that's pretty much functional, right? Like this entire function, this is pretty goddamn pure. The only thing it takes, memory arena and a list, yeah, this is pure as fuck. And then we can just like recreate this anywhere. All we need is a list, and we just pass in whichever memory arena we're using, right? Which is just the frame arena. This, and then we push all of our lines, and then we join them together, and then we've got a nice buffer of all the lines, and we can just fucking do everything we want to do. It's kind of beautiful. Anywho, did a bit of brainstorming last night on the game jam. Got a bunch of game ideas, especially just for future games that are like out of the scope of this one. I'm pretty much settled on a platformer. Big surprise. It's literally exactly what I set out to do with this game B, right? But we're just gonna do it in 72 days. Successful brainstorm. It's day 1 at 1:40 p.m. Starting a little late, but that's okay. Got my trusty little coffee. Gym has been hit, ready to get going. By the way, boys, if you'd like to support me in these videos and fund my barista-made black think juice and pizza programming fuel, then the best way to do that is via my Coffee page. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. It's Future Randy here, and it's the 10th of November. This video has only taken me around 3 days or so to edit, so the workflow is getting faster, but still not entirely ideal. Anywho, hope you're doing well and working towards whatever it is that you are excited about. Consider this a nice reminder. After this video is finished, shut off YouTube, go do something you enjoy. Or if you're just chilling after a long day, hey, kick back, relax, and enjoy the rest. Either way, glad you're here. Most people take one look at a video like this and go, hang on a second, I'm not being fed action every 2 seconds. Where's the cool editing? Me no likey. I'm gonna go scroll TikTok and watch Mr. Beast. Let's just go ahead and fucking boop. Oh. I don't think you boys are ready for this. Yes! The power of telescope, inline, immediate mode UI. One singular line of code for a slider. Suck on that, Unity. Yeah! If you're looking to implement a UI system yourself and you're like an engine dev kind of person and would really like to do an immediate mode style UI. So this is the start. This is the entry point to the whole thing. 10 out of 10, would highly recommend reading it. It is fucking beautiful. I'll link these down in the description, of course. This is absolutely fucking nerve-wracking. Oh god. So I'm doing a clean reset back to Windows 10. I'm fucking fed up with Windows 11. Game jam's over. I spent the entire day yesterday working on just like 3D stuff, which is very strange. And now I'm doing a clean reset back to Windows 10. But the thing is, drivers. Have all my framework drivers stored on this bad boy right here. And the only way I'm gonna be able to connect back to the internet is if one of those drivers on there, the Wi-Fi, actually works. Now, if it doesn't work, and I can't connect back to the internet, and it turns out I've got the wrong drivers, then I'm completely fucked. I don't have a second computer with an internet connection that I can use. So here I am, just deleting my entire operating system with the click of a mouse. Partition 2, reserved, recovery. Get the fuck out of here. Oh god. I'm in danger. Well, I've officially unallocated my entire M.2 SSD.
Along the way,
Shut the fuck up, you dumb.
just select
I'm sorry, Cortana. I didn't mean to snap at you. She's just doing what she's programmed to do. The moment of truth. It says installing Intel Wi-Fi driver. I'm assuming we're good. Oh, man, it feels so good to just have a fresh install. I'm also gonna make an effort to go through and literally uninstall all of the fucking bloat. Like, just clear out everything. As much as I wish I could use a custom OS, like some very minimal Linux distro. I need Windows, game development. We're shipping there, DirectX, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to know why I use DirectX, by the way, this is it. We're shipping the Windows. 90% of the users on Steam, I think it's like 98% or something of the users on Steam use Windows. So it's like, but you're probably wondering, why DirectX over something like OpenGL or Vulkan? They also target Windows. OpenGL, dog shit, so much fucking driver issues. So we can ignore that. Vulkan, probably kind of decent, but at the same time, if I'm just targeting Windows, why not just use DirectX? There's a bunch of different platforms you can target. So it's a lot smarter to just have a good abstraction for the class of all graphics APIs. So you can just swap in whichever backend you need. DirectX for Windows, Metal for OS X. You can even put OpenGL, like WebGL, all that kind of stuff, right? It's better to do that than rely on something like OpenGL to do that work for you, because I think Apple's actually fucking getting rid of OpenGL support at the end of the day anyway. So it's like, anywho, I'm watching this lovely video with my boy Stuart. This is the whole reason I'm installing Windows 10 right now. See that right there? 10x. New editor, baby. So yeah, I hope 10x is good. I'll let you know if it is, I guess. Press any key to continue. Where's the any key? Good news, boys. That was fucking scary. Welcome to Microsoft Edge. I've been using Microsoft Edge, right? And I literally just switched to Firefox the other day, and it's like 3 times as fast. It's actually ridiculous how fucking slow Microsoft Edge is. Like, why can't things just be fast all the time? Do you know how fast computers are? It's alright. One day we'll build a perfect utopia where everything responds in less than 1 millisecond. But until then,
I'm gonna stick to Windows 10 for as long as they maintain it, and then they'll probably pull a fucking Windows 7 and be like, "Hey, we're not doing security updates anymore. Come on now, switch." Yeah, consider this a word of caution to all you thinking of switching to Windows 11. I've already done it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Everything's slow. Everything breaks constantly. Million bugs. Not worth the time at all. So save yourself the upgrade. It's not an upgrade to Windows 11. It's a fucking downgrade, bro. This is a bit of an anticlimactic ending to the video and to the game jam and to this week, but that's kind of how it goes. Thanks for tuning into this video. I'll see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Alright. I'm fucking done. See you later.